I now give the floor to the observer of the Sovereign Order of Malta.
Mr. Chairman, Excellencies, distinguished colleagues, the Sovereign Order of Malta commends the IMRF and the distinguished representatives from Bangladesh and Luxembourg for their leadership as the international community reviews progress made towards achieving safe, orderly and regular migration, most of which is involuntary in all its iterations, and central to it is loss. Whether this be the loss of family, home, income, educational opportunity, culture, tradition, even loss of life. GCM and this week's IMRF are certainly steps in the right direction in mitigating some of these losses, and with that in mind, all contributing nations must be thanked and acknowledged. We urge the global community in considering the plight of migrants to desist from politicizing their pain and suffering. Avoid using them as pawns in geopolitical games, whether separating families, the unlawful detention of children, or coerced and involuntary transhumance. And if we recognize that the current migration crisis is the worst since World War II, then we must face the reality that the decades ahead are going to be far more consequential. The impact of climate change, rising sea levels, desertification, and the disruption of food cycles in many parts of the world, together with war and conflict, are the horsemen of the apocalypse set on destroying ours and our children's future. If we are to avoid uncontrolled migration and its political and economic consequences, we must heed the Secretary-General's warning and work in concert to save our planet. No action we take stands alone. Everything we've discussed at IMRF is interrelated and interconnected, as we have seen from the disruption to the implementation of the SDGs and the 2030 Agenda, consequent to pandemic and war. Concomitant with all of that is the need to acknowledge, from our perspective, the importance of faith-based communities in a world where it is estimated that almost 80% of our fellow humans have a religious or a sectarian commitment. When we endorsed the Global Compact on Migration in Marrakesh in 2018, the Sovereign Order of Malta expressed a hope that the compact would engage faith-based leaders as they strive to de-escalate tensions between communities, build bridges of dialogue, and deliver humanitarian relief and assistance. Today, we urge all world leaders to work together in the spirit of the GCM for the common good, for the sake of the sick and the poor, for those who are left behind, and most critically, for those who will have nowhere to go. Thank you.
I thank the observer of the Sovereign Order of Malta.